Sham Masech the Ma'aser Sheni Davo and Bezlin Nishmat Gid the Best Woman Shami Gid Shami so that's a full name. Before we go further with this Mishnah, Rabbi say, just wanted to circle back a minute to the Gemara that we learned in the Pruta that gets lost. The Hagdish, the Kesef Surah that gets lost. It gets lost in the Yam. And the Rambam Shitta. So the Gemara in our Gemara, Rabbi Yoina has an Aboya. Right before the Mishnah, Bava and Beis. Rabbi Yoina boy, not for Kisel boy. Boy may ruba, boy yochel oitzi chamishim ruba la'aloisam, oitzi chamishim ruba k'moi shehem b'shusay. You have to deduct from the Ma'aser Sheni, which is in the bar, or in the it's interesting because here it says it's in the bar, right? It fell into the bar. The Gemara in Tzadik Ches that we spoke about in Agoz Leitzim talks about that it's in the Yam. And you need somebody to take it out, so you take off the money that's necessary to remove it from the Yam HaGodol. And the Chari, you would say that that's the same Shaila of Rabbi Yoina. What's the nafkamina? Is it a bar or it's in the Yam? It should be the same thing, right? That's how I would think. This is not, it's not reachable, and only with money to hire somebody to take it out. And that money has to be deducted from the Ma'aser Sheni. So a couple of different problems here. Number one, the Rambam leaves out this part of Rabbi Yoina, which is asking, Boy Rabbi Yoina, do I deduct from the Ma'aser Sheni the amount of money that's necessary to get it into your hands? Because in the water where it is, or in the bar, you can't get it. You can't access it. So in order to access it, you have to hire somebody to take it. So Rabbi Yoina is asking, Boy Rabbi Yoina, do you have to deduct? Now, so we asked, what do you mean deducting? Why are you deducting? This Ma'aser Sheni. This Ma'aser Sheni is in the bar. In order that it should be in the Sata Kesa B'Yotcha, it should be B'Shuscha, or it should be like the Gemara says in the Tzadik Ches, it has to be B'Yotcha. It's a different type of Rishus. But Akabon, in order that to be, you have to spend money to do that. So, okay. That's if you want to use this money, you have to spend money to get it. But now this Badbeya, which is in the Yam, has a Kedusha. It has a certain amount of Kedusha. It's 100 Mei Ruba. That Kedusha now goes away. You deduct part of that with the money that it costs you to bring it out of the Yam or out of the boat. Tavos. You want to use that money, okay, so you have to spend money to get to it. But the Kedusha that Nivchas or Nivda, because of the money that you have to expend, Kedusha Hey, where does the Kedusha go? You can't just tell the Kedusha it's goodbye without making a pigeon. So what's the pigeon? The pigeon is this schar to take it out, takes away the Kedusha. Das verstehe ich nicht. So but Al Kaponim, a lot of different problems here with the Gemara. But here, what I see in the Ikukas, so they're all busy, this we spoke about, why the Rambam is mashmit, this halacha that Rabbi Yoina is bringing. He's bringing Rabbi Yoina's aboya. Not for kis l'boya boya meiruba. So the Rambam brings the halacha in Perek Daled. Halacha Yiralev. Eine poede b'moya she'ene b'shusay she'nema v'tzata kesa b'yotcha. Has to be b'shuscha. Not for kis l'boya who yochel oitzi falls into the boat. V'hi yochel oitzi poede boy. You could use it. It's in Yerushus. What do you mean it's in Yerushus? He's saying, who yachal. Now, he can get it out. How is he taking it out of the bar? He's taking it out of the bar, even if he has to spend money to take it out of the bar. He doesn't say how he get it out of the bar. But that is the lotion of Rabbi Yoina. Boy nafal kis the bar, boy meiruba, boy yachal. The Rambam stops right there. But the Gemara continues. The Mamash Lashon Rambam. The Rambam is quoting the Gemara, which he normally does. When he has a source, he quotes the Lashon Gemara, unless he has some pirush that he wants to tell us. then he doesn't bring the rest of it. Chamishin ruble aloisam, oisa chamishin ruble kamoisha hem b'shusay. Oisa chamishin ruble kamoisha hem b'shusay. That chamishim, not the meyamona. So that's an aboy of Yoina. The Rambam just stops here, and he says, "V'hu yochel etziyah poydi bo b'nei shu b'shusay." But what happens with the schar that he has to pay? What's the Rambam's opinion on all this? It doesn't say, right? So that is the big question here. Mashal kosav Rabbeinu is the rikukas. Mashal kosav Rabbeinu din nofel kisel yam agodol nirishu sava din nofel kisel yam agodol eina nikre b'shusay. So he says that's if you can only take it out with armoim, with divers to take it out, that's not called b'shusay. That's how the rikukas is learning. The bishloim boy who b'shusay shel adam. So now he makes an afkamina. The Rambam only brings the case of boy. He doesn't bring the case of the Yamagoda. So you'd ask me, I'd say, what's an afkamina? Yamagoda, go, it's Harkistera, it's in wherever it is. It's just not accessible. What's an afkamina? He says. But he makes an afkamina, and he said the Rambam only brings boy. Why doesn't he bring the din of Yam? It's only he brings the case of Yam. He doesn't bring our case here in the Bible. He says it's here in the Yam. So the Kukas, there's a difference. What's the difference? The gis is uniche lashon v'hoy yochel d'loikama v'hoy yochel loitziyeh. Lefi gis is seferenu efshel lefanish d'ochi kama v'hoy yochel im yoitzi chamishim ruba. How can he get it out? With spending money. V'lashon yochel ahaloah. Inami do yochel hainu sheyesh lo chamishim ruba oid kidei la'aloisam. In other words, you spend your own money to take it out. You don't have to take the money from Hegdish to take it out. He has to borrow the money. He has different cases back and forth over here, but he's not saying anything about this, whether the money is deducted or not deducted. Why does the Rambam leave out the case of Yamagodl? So if you ask me that, I say, what's an afkamina Yamagodl? But the issue is that you can't get to it. What's the afkamina? Where it is? Dr. Nida Shusayve, the Rambam held the Nofa Kisel Yamagodl, Eina Nikra B'Shusay. The Bishlami boy who B'Shusay Shalodam, the Kivin Shiachal Tzion, Moy Sheb'Shusay Nikrayim. Because you can get it out of the boy. Abu Yamagodl, Afilu Motzi Bar Oimeroi, he finds these divers, the Mishkele, Eina Nikrayim B'Shusay, Kitzarech Umnes Yisayda, V'yesh Sakona. It's a special talent, and it's a sakana to dive down into the ocean. That's not called b'shusay. So the Rambam is not accepting the Bavli that says that you don't take it out of the Yam, that you're going to use that money, deduct the money. No, only in a boy, not in the Yam. The ma'ashu hu b'Yam. In other words, this shadow we cleared the other day. When the Gemara says over here, the boy, that you can get it out with chamishim ruba, whatever it is, right? Or the Gemara, the Babli says here. When is it considered b'shusa? When you take it out? You take it out, this is no problem. The shadow is, if you could do it now, you have an ability to go hire somebody to take it out. Das sagt du. Right, the mashu who be yam ain't b'shusay achi zenu. The yam la b'shusay. Yeah, look the yam. What is
the Babli hold? If he then what's the shit as a Babli?
The Babli is nicht so. The Babli halt doch nicht so. Sagt der Ferisch, heule moi is bekuster ba melch, ich noch kisel yam agodo, ein mechal. Aber I steht doch da yam mechal, das weiß ich der Gemara. Dann sagt der Gesan Tab. The Gemara answers, Omer Rabba, Shaini, the Indian Meister, the Binin Motzi Biyotcha, the Rachman Omer, Tzat the Kesa Biyotcha, the Leka. As was, according to the Rabba, that was anders. Better says, when you get to Gezel, you took it away from somebody. The fact that you can get it, this says, Ashova. Are Kamoch. he says to him, Munach Hamoch. Munach Hamoch. Why is it Munach Hamoch? Eyes in the Yam. So the Gemara, no. It's Lulim, you see it, go take it. It's Sakone, I have enough from Geld to go down and jump into the water. And he Munach Hamoch. Fragt the Gemara, I've been again to Meister Sheni, you tell me it's not B'Shuscha? Does that sein B'Yotcha? Here it's B'Shuscha. The fact that I took away something from you and I have to give it back to you, if I put it back in your shoes, that's enough. So he said, I never took it away from you because it's still B'Shuscha. Where? In the Yam. Go look in the Yam. Here, it's 100 feet away, down in the ocean. Kein Emes, Fatih, B'Shuscha. Masha ain't kein, no, it's like the Gemara Bezog, when you get it to Meister Sheni, it's not enough B'Shuscha, that's ein B'Yotcha. So that's why ein Mechal Nalem. That's why it's a good Bible, yeah? But B'Yoyne says, wait a second. What does B'Yoyne say? Boy, you know, for Kisel the boy, Meiruba, you have to, when you get to make the Chilul, who says you can't be Mechal? Can you Mechal sign of them? No, boss, you have to take off the money that you have to spend to take it out. So, kum tois, that you can't use the entire money. The money is not nifcha. So one problem is how does the Ma'aser Sheni go away? But this Rabbi Yoin is learning that what? You could be Mechal. I stop Zayin B'Shuscha. He doesn't talk about B'Shuscha, B'Yotcha. Rabbi Yoin is not talking about that. He's asking maybe this has B'Shuscha only when you take money and spend the money to take it out. That will say it's B'Shuscha. If not, it's not B'Shuscha. So what's going to be some afkamina if it's in a har or if it's in the Yam HaGodol? If it costs money to bring it out, Mount Everest, you got to take some climber to go take it down from wherever it is. You can't get to it. It's a difficult place. It costs money to get to it. It should be the Chayil Zal B'Shayla. This is the Chayil what the Rikukas is saying. It's the Yam and this, he wants to make an afkamina in the Mitzvah, this yard, this nish. It's hard for me to understand that, but the problem is that Rambam doesn't bring the ganze Zach from the pigeon, from the money that the Mois Hegdish goes down. Why doesn't he bring it? Because he doesn't paskin like Rabbi Yoina. That Rabbi Yoina says he has a tzad whether you could deduct or you can't deduct. Because the Ma'aser Sheni, Kedush Ma'aser Sheni, hey, where does it go? Before you spend money to take it into your shoes, that makes it less Ma'aser Sheni. You get to make the Kedusha. So he doesn't hold like this, but he does hold. The Rambam does bring that he says that this is Yochel Loitziyah, Poideboy. And what's meant is Yochel Loitziyah? Yochel Loitziyah means it has to be possible. So if it's possible, mit Geld, what's the Damas Din? That's considered Poideboy or not. This is all Dvarim HaMuchusim Mimenu. We don't know what the Rambam's opinion is on this. So he seems to say that Rikukas wants to say, וכן נראה מהסוגיה לפרק הגויז לעצם, גם מדברי התויסס שם, ושמה שאנו פויטין הזויריק מטבע של חברי בנגיע to the din of Nezikim, we say that he could say Munach Hamoch, היינו במוצי בימרוי למishkalei. When he tells his Chava, Munach Hamoch, what do you mean? How am I supposed to get there? I can't go into the water. He says, no, take the Amoy, divers, and go get it. With the Kavosa, meaning Gabi Meister, shiny Meister, the Siv, Tzat, the Kesef, Yotcha, Ken Nichlu Bamash, Beinu, and Poidin al Amoy, Sheine Beshusay, this is considered Beshusay. So he's throwing in here also the din by Gezel, or Mazik. He's saying the same halacha that Munach Hamoch, it's in the Yam, that's Munach Hamoch. Yochel Etziyah. Look at the Kukas. Yochel Etziyah because go. If you have a way of hiring somebody to go bring it, so bring it. So when he paskins over here, the halacha in Chayvul Mazik in Perek Zayin halacha Yud Aleph, V'chein adoivchem ma'berech habeir b'zgalgul yored liyam is Chayv l'shalom. What does it mean Chayv l'shalom? So the Gemara makes the ganze Kimton. If it's Tlulim, that's not Chayv l'shalom. You say Munach Hamoch. The Ram just says if it's in the Yam. Chayiv l'shalom leaves out all the different questions that we have. Is it in the Yam? Which is Munach Hamoch? Is it 2 feet in the water? It's 100 feet in the water? Is it avudim? It's slulim or yachurim? I could see it. I can't see it. He leaves out the whole thing. So he says Chayiv l'shalom. What does that mean? That's not called b'shuscha. In the Yam, it's not b'shuscha. It's not in my rishus. He took away from the From the nizik, you have to bring it back to him. He looks to me, Munach Hamoch. He doesn't agree with Munach Hamoch. So if the Rambam is not masking that's considered Munach Hamoch, that's not called B'shuscha, B'negei to Mazik, so Vada gewiss that when B'negei to the Yam, he doesn't bring the case by Yam, by Ma'aser Sheni. So Ma'aser Sheni would be Munach by Yam. Sicher no good, because it's Chayv L'Shalom even by Bor. And you tell me Bor is Gringer according to the Rikukas. So you tell me no for Gul Yom is Chayv L'Shalom, so it's not B'shuscha. So Vada B'negei to Ma'aser Sheni, it's also not B'shuscha. So that's why the Rambam, when he talks about by Ma'aser Sheni, he only brings the case of Bor. He doesn't bring in the case of Yam. And he says, by Nofel Kisa the Bor, Yochel L'Hoitzi is by the Bor, Mneishu B'shuscha. That's considered B'shuscha. And maybe then, when you get to Nofel Kisa the Bor, when you get to Mazik, he could say, it's in a Bor. He only tells me by Yam, it's not considered B'shuscha. By Yam, it's not considered B'shuscha. The way the Rikuk is understanding, because Yam is a place where you can't get to. The Bor is jumping to the Bor. He makes an afkimina. I don't know the Metzias, what kind of Bor, what kind of Yam. You can have a shallow water and you have a steep mountain. It's not clear how to be madga this thing. But Al you see the Rambam is making an afkimina. But again, to the dinam of Nezek, if it's in the Bor, is chayiv the shalom. But that's because it's in the Yam. He only brings the case of Yam, because that's not considered B'shusha. Mashiach and Benegay to Ma'aser Sheni, he's saying that you could use it because it's in a Bor. And a Bor has B'shusha. The Yam has Nish B'shusha, and a Bor has Yo B'shusha. And that's mamish what the Rikuka says. So that is the differences of the Babli with the Yishami, the way the Rambam understands it. But then again, to this halacha that you take off the money, the cost of bringing it out from the Yam, this is showing something where the Rambam leaves out completely. So mashma that you don't have to do that. You don't have to be deduct that money. Okay, this is what we all zoom being. Okay, let's go back here to the Mishnah we started yesterday. Let's just chazar over what it says. Sheda is in the Mishnah. Alakei behem to the zivchei shlomim. He bought a behemah, which is a shlomim, with the money of Ma'aser Sheni. V'hoya lebos v'chaya lebos atayva, or he bought with a chaya lebos atayva, meaning he didn't spend the kochim. He bought to use the mois Ma'aser Sheni not to buy kochim. The yotza oil lechulin, af bisha oil merubel alabosa. Now, the way, if you look over here, you can see on the screen here, the Mishnah Neshayna we spoke about yesterday. The Mishnah Neshayna says that even though it's mashma from the Rav is mashma here. You see the Rav here, the Batanura. I'm sorry, one second. Okay, behema, left side on the top here. Okay, behema the zivchei shlomim mois Ma'aser Sheni shekachu ikke mitzvahs mois Ma'aser Sheni ikke mitzvah mois Ma'aser Sheni liknes mehem shlomim yafinan sham l'gzeir shara m'ha'evel then after l'gzeir shaba there is a mitzvah to buy from the mois Ma'aser Sheni to buy shlomim, buy something which is shlomim. If you didn't do it, and he bought, let's say, he used the chaya, which is not he bought a chaya, which is not royal lekobim. V'kana mimois Ma'aser Sheni, lech loisei bosa taiva kloim b'chulin, yotzer oil l'chulin, v'ein tzarech lechol domo b'Yerushalayim. So, but the Eved, he's saying it's only a katchil dikadin, and it's mashma from the Batanura that this is the Raisa. You're learning out sham from Gzeir Shava. This is what you're supposed to do. If you didn't do it, it's okay. It's okay. It's not a katchilas. They're interessant zach. Usually the rices are not the katchilas. Okay, we want to say chukah, nish chukah. I don't know exactly, but akaponim, that is the ivir from the Batanura, and that seems to be a big machlokes here. As the Melech HaShloimeh, not the Melech HaShloimeh, the Mishnah Neshayna points out. Let's see. He brings Peshit and Rishonim here, he brings the Rashi and Rashi and Menachos stuff. But Peshit and Rishonim, it's important to read this because this is the Yisayid is from the opinion of Ma'aser Sheni. Is it a mitzvah to buy behemoths? It's not a mitzvah to buy behemoths. Now, if you learn, it needs a tzarechim because if you learn that it's a mitzvah to buy shlomim with the Mois Ma'aser Sheni, so the Mois Ma'aser Sheni has a kedushas Ma'aser Sheni. The shlom matach kedushas shlom. You want to be paid now the money of Ma'aser Sheni, it's Satach Geld, so it's a kedushas Ma'aser Sheni. And how you paid that money? You paid that money by buying macholim in Yerushalayim. So you buy something which is kodesh. So what you mekadesh the shloma with a kedusha of Ma'aser Sheni? Kedusha, heichen rachiv. How can you put one kedusha on top of another kedusha? These are gaitas. According to these Rishonim that say that the mitzvah is to buy mois bosa shlomim. How does the kedusha of the money nischal on the kedusha shlomim? There's a interessante Sache that works that way. But Akaponim does state in the Gemara, and according to these Rishonim, that's what happens. So now, zog the Mishnah, Yotzar lechulin, afa pi she'or meruba abasa. In other words, what goes out lechulin? The or goes out lechulin. For what's going to is the or lechulin? Let's go over this again. Zog the Pnei Moshe, Yotzar lechulin. Look at the second line in the wider lines here on the right side in the Pnei Moshe. You don't have to sell the oil because now you bought oil, which is something which could be converted. That's like the shit of the Rambam, or the Rambam argues with him. The Rambam holds you could be machlef peiris on peiris, mois on mois, and then you're going to be paid later. And this oil would be you're taking the money of Ma'aser Sheni. You're supposed to put it on macholim. But now it's nischal on oil which is not a machal. So now you're going to sell the oil and buy something with it. So stay down the Mishnah. No, yotza oil lechulin. This oil goes out lechulin. It was a bosa shlomim. What he means here, yotza oil lechulin, not the chulin of Ma'aser Sheni. It's not Ma'aser Sheni now. You use the money of Ma'aser Sheni and you bought this behemoth with it. So it's shlomim. If it's shlomim, so we said only the bosa is shlomim. The oil after the shkita, he says the oil is yotza oil lechulin. Ve'ein tzarich l'morchroi v'lechel doma b'Yerushalayim. Afa pishet dmei oil meruv ma'ad mei bosa. I mean, I'm not sure about it. I understand the yotza oil lechulin means, what do you mean lechulin? It was kotchim. It's man shlomim. Now it's nishchat. So you tell me the oil goes out l'chum is not kosher anymore. It's not oil. It's not such consumed from bedek abayis. So what happens to that? Or he means here yotza l'chulin that for Ma'aser Sheni. Now it never had a kedusha Ma'aser Sheni. You bought with the money of the Ma'aser Sheni, you bought a behemoth, and the behemoth has bosa and has oil. So the bosa is zichur Ma'aser Sheni that you could eat, but the oil goes out l'chulin. You don't have to be paid to that on something else. Go weiter and buy now macholim. Go buy food with that money of the oil. What's the afapi? Even though the oil is more than the mehamais, the bosa. What's an afkimin if it's yaroiv nishkaroiv? What's the chiddush of roiv here? The fish ain't amoichim medagdik. So now the Mishnah is explaining. We'll see in the Gemara weiter in a minute. I don't know in a minute, but we'll see weiter in the Gemara. The fish, it depends who the moicher is. Medagdik limker lezeh b'fnei atzmai, lezeh b'fnei atzmai. In other words, is he a professional? Is he a tagger? That's his business. So when he's in business, he wants to make sure he gets the maximum money out of the bossa, which is lachila. But the oil, he's not giving it away. The oil is going to sell it weiter. So he's never paid the mois Ma'aser Sheni that he has. He's not paid it on the oil. If he's not saying that one goes separate this way for one person, this goes to the other person, he's a private person, then we say Yotza Oil L'chul. What does the Menaful say? Yotza Oil L'chulin, Ve'ein Sorch Le'echel Doma B'Yerushalayim. Yotza Oil L'chulin, please look at the Rashi on the right side, towards the 10, 15 lines in the bottom. You don't have to take the or into Yerushalayim. I'm not sure what he means. Vein dom of toyin mechitza. It says dom of toyin mechitza. You use the money of the Ma'aser Sheni. You bought a behemoth kochim, so the boss is kodesh now. And that you have to eat the boss in Yerushalayim. Very good. The or yotza lechulin, because it doesn't have a kedusha's Ma'aser Sheni now. Vein dom of tunin mechitza. Why should the money need mechitza? At the maximum, you would say that the money needs what? You have to be paid the money on Macholmi and buy something in Yerushalayim to eat the food. It's not the Domov needs the Mechitza, the Macholim needs the Mechitza, right? Maybe it means the Pshat is because the only way you're allowed to be paid the money on something else is if it's in Yerushalayim. So he said this not, because it doesn't have Kedusha's Ma'aser Sheni. So where does the Kedusha of the Ma'aser Sheni go? Where did that go away? Or it never has the kedusha. What does it mean? Yotza or lechum means lechum from what? Because it was boss shlomim, and now it's no longer shlomim because of the shchita, or because you machal the boss. That it's not very clear to me when it says yotza or lechulin. He says here, af bisha or meruba ala boss yotza or lechulin. From what? Two choices. One from the shlomim dike. And one is from the Ma'aser Sheni. If in the Ma'aser Sheni, when did the oil become Kodesh from the Ma'aser Sheni? V'domi ha'or shelokach ha'moicha l'niskatshu, v'demei ha'or shelokach ha'moicha, the money that you use to buy the oil is lo niskatshu, v'chulhen, and that's considered like it's chuln. Af agav d'mei Ma'aser Sheni, nosan lo yolav, even though he gave Ma'aser Sheni to buy this behemoth, because the money that has all is Ma'aser Sheni, and now he bought a behemoth. Afa pisha or merub b'damov halabosa. The Gemara nafka lamikor. You learn this out from a pasuk that the oil goes out even though you bought it with Ma'aser Sheni. You bought it with Ma'aser Sheni, so why is it not taken in the Kaddish? It's not in the Kaddish. How you allowed to do it? How you allowed to take Ma'aser Sheni and buy something which is not in the Kaddish? Even according to the Rambam Shitta, that you could take money and mechalana money and pay some payers and keep going till you get to the end, to Yerushalayim. But if it doesn't have a kedusha, the kedusha sham just you usurp the kedusha. The kedusha went away by itself. It's hard to understand it. Now, what does it mean roiv? Even though it's roiv, so what you say that there's a bittul over here from the bittul from the boss of Ma'aser Sheni would be a hammer say that it's bottle. Boss made no roiv. So all these things, Rabbi says, questions that we have to get the answers to. Okay, zog the Mishnah weiter. So a goyzim ashkedim yosek lipaim luchun. The same thing. It's nicht kenaf gemein if it's a behemoth or he bought other things. He bought the goyzim, nuts, almonds, and walnuts. Yosek lipaim luchun, because that's not something which you could eat. So even though there's a mitzvah to use money to buy bosa shlomim, but that's not a b'diavad. So you could buy these other things as well, and it doesn't say over here that it's a b'diavad. So it's very hard to understand exactly here what the gather is of this mitzvah. If I learn like the Rav and the other Rishonim, Taisus, that there's a mitzvah to be kind of to buy things that are Ma'aser Sheni, Bosa Shlomim with the Ma'aser Sheni. So but you're allowed to buy food as well. So how does this work? It's a mitzvah to buy Shlomim, and if you don't want to buy Shlomim, so it's good. What's the pshat? Okay, but as I stated in the Mishnah, Asemed Ashlo Hichmet Zayin Nuchel B'Kesem Ma'aser Sheni, Misha Hichmet Nuchel B'Kesem Ma'aser Sheni. Once it becomes something which is not water, now it's water, now it's not. Okay, Chayil Zivchei Shlomim Behem the Basa Taiva Lo Yotze Oil Lechulin. If he buys, he uses a Chayil for the Zivchei Shlomim Behem the Basa Taiva Lo Yotze Oil Lechulin. So then the oil does not go out l'chulin. Why? If you're buying Ma'aser Sheni with a Basa Shlomim, and he's not somebody which is a tager, so then we say that the oil will not go out, and the oil will be chulin, goes out l'chulin. But the Keach Chayil Zivchei Shlomim, he's buying it with something which is not roy for Shlomim, u'behemer l'basa taiva. Then the boss doesn't go out l'chulin because he's a private person. He's not mechalik between these two things. Take a look here. L'yotza oil l'chulin, kloime. Ein b'toiras sheyotza oil l'chulin. Why? Not like in the Reisha. The fish like kana Ma'aser. Ochi Masi b'Gemara Perusha the Masnisin. We'll see it in the Gemara.